It's a rematch of the last two Nassau County Class A championship games. Also one of the fiercest rivals in the county. It's the Syosset Braves hosting the Massapequa Chiefs. Hi again, everybody. Welcome to News 12 Varsity alongside Dylan Butler. I'm Dan Savarino, and welcome here to Syosset High School on the grass today. Boy, oh boy, Dylan, it is beautiful out. Wind's blowing a little bit, but we know we're going to have a fierce competition between the lines today.
Always is. You know, the last time they actually played on this field 2 years ago, it was the most physical lacrosse game that I've ever seen. Ground balls are hard to get. They go after each other. They go after each other no matter what the field is like. But yeah, no, listen, this is a great rivalry, a great day for it. And with Massapequa and Syosset, certainly two of the top teams in our tri-state.
Well, the Chiefs lost some key pieces from a year ago, so did Syosset. But now you have two groups trying to really gel together. The defensive side for Syosset is there as of right now, and especially the last couple of games. For Massapequa, though, one of their leading guys you have to look out for, Brendan Nickturn, is going to go to West Point, also the leading scorer.
Yeah, Nickturn has filled that void, you'd say, probably left by Ryan Tierney, who's now doing a great job for his dad at Hofstra. And Nickturn can score in so many different ways. He was that supporting cast guy a year ago. Now he's the main dude in that attack, and he has certainly delivered in a big way for the Chiefs this year.
One of the great guys on the attack for the Braves, it's J.P. Lanning. He's wearing number 3 today, not the usual number 22, but guess what? It's no disguise, he's still going to be a heck of a player out there.
Yeah, I think Radomski's going to know exactly where he is, no matter what number he's wearing. And yeah, similar storyline with Lanning as well, right? Where Mac O'Keefe was the guy, and now he's killing it as a freshman at Penn State. So Lanning has stepped up right where O'Keefe has left off. He's had a great season. Another one of these guys who is so dangerous in the attack. And certainly Radomski and his Chiefs are going to be keeping an eye out for him.
Syosset has won the last 3 meetings between these two. 2 of them have been the county championship game. We'll have to wait to see about that one. For now, it's regular season lacrosse. Who comes up next? Who will come away with the win? Only on News 12 Varsity.
It's the reason we keep watching. Because of underdogs, crazy comebacks, and the last-minute heroics. Because we love it all. The face-offs, the hits, the big-time goals. Because winning never, ever gets old. So, we keep watching anywhere we can. Never miss a moment. Download the News 12 Varsity app today.
A rematch of the last 2 Nassau County Class A championship games. Syosset, Massapequa, only on News 12 Varsity. Dan Savarino, Dylan Butler here with you. Thanks for joining us this absolutely gorgeous Friday afternoon. Wind has picked up just a little bit, but Dylan, it's the nicest day, and actually only the second time all season it hasn't been raining for Syosset when they play on the field.
And that makes this grass field not a muddy mess, but certainly we walked on the field before the start of the game. It's a thick, heavy grass, so ground balls will certainly be really tough to pick up, which means the physicality of this game will certainly be ramped up.
Take a look at the starting lineups here for Massapequa. The attack, James Hall, Timmy Lay, Brendan Nickturn. Midfielders as of right now, Gibbons, Petrakis. And you also see Sal Iana out there on the defensive end. Griffin Harthorne, Brian Legahan, and Mike Pecco. Mike Venezia is between the pipes to our left. Syosset, Moyet, Pucci, and Lanig. The face-off guy right now is Goldberg, and we'll see him at the X momentarily. And we'll see a couple of different guys in the midfield. Farrell, Monfort, Kalbacker, and Bennis will be out there. Oaks, Virch, Conti, those are the guys out there on the defensive end with Bellamonte. And Anthony Solaro is between the pipes. So fresh 12 minutes on the clock. Massapequa from left to right. Blue jerseys, tops and bottoms with the white numbers. Syosset in their classic home whites with the red. Goldberg wins the first face-off immediately. He'll move it off to Pucci. Shot in front in the first save. Came right off the stick of J.P. Lanning.
Yeah, a situation like that, you want to see maybe a little shot fake, bounce low. Instead, it was pretty easy save to make, and that's another thing too. Watch the bounce shots on a turf, of course. They're true bounces. Here, who knows where that ball is going to go.
It may look like beautiful grass right on that fairway where I want to be able to put my golf ball, but there are a couple little divots out there if you take a walk throughout the field. It's also thick. Going to be tough for those ground balls. Between the restraining lines, that is one of the keys for John Calabria and his staff. Moved out to the point, Shane Gibbons straight away, part of this midfield. Here's Kyle Corwin. Corwin works down the left side, really a first-year guy, even though he's been on varsity the last 3 years. Hall along the crease, back to Sal Iana, and the work it back out to center point is Gibbons. Will take a run. Has the screen straight away, Iana mishandled. Corwin will scoop it up in the far alley. Dylan, for Massapequa, 1 loss on the season. It was Smithtown East, that 1-goal loss. The first shot goes high, and it'll go to Syosset the other way.
Yeah, Timmy Lay rang one off the post, and the backup not there, so Syosset will get the ball, but the clear will not be easy.
He's getting that 1 loss. Smithtown East for Syosset, though, their 1 defeat. Cold Spring Harbor, 16 goals they surrendered against a team that has a plethora of talent. A couple of maybe future All-Americans out there on that field. But really the work in progress for this for Syosset, John Calabria is saying, we trust our D to get better as we continue to go. It's going to be the most important thing, obviously, for the playoffs. But we know it is a process.
Well, you got a guy like Virch with a long pole. That's a great start for the Braves. He's just a beast back there.
Here's Jake Montfort, the sophomore already committed to Yale, back out to the midfield. And Callbacker, with 14 goals on the season, will cradle on the far wing. Straight away, Bennis tries to swim through a couple, nowhere to go. Downstairs instead to Moyet, a captain who has been here for 3 years and started in 2 of them.
And you can see that feeling out process first couple minutes of this contest.
Both teams playing in the man. As Callbacker nowhere to go against Sal Iana, number 15. Iana last year, primarily a defensive midfielder. Now working more of the offensive role. To the near alley. Here's Bennis, a Loyola commit. He's going to dodge hard right here from the alley. Against the senior, Shane Gibbons of Massapequa. Cuts to the side, and low shot misses far and wide.
Yeah, you got the inside track on Gibbons, but his shot well wide. Possession continues for Syosset.
Syosset right now number 7 in our tri-state poll. These are 2 of the top teams you will see on Long Island. Of course, trying to meet once again for Nassau County Championship. Still some time before we get to that point. But both teams' recent victories against Farmingdale, and they know that's another tough opponent they'll see most likely in the Big 4. Winding and firing, holding back. He thought about the shot. Was Montfort. Lengthy possession for Syosset. Team that's been averaging close to 13 goals per game. Only scored 7 against Farmingdale. Lefty shot, big stop as Moyet released that. And Venezia already with a couple of decent saves here in the first. Gibbons on the clear. Shane Gibbons didn't see a ton of playing time last year, but he's had 7 assists, mostly coming off the bench. Future pioneer of LIU post. Now here is this attack. Timmy Lay. He got some time last year as well. It's a group, Dylan, offensively. When you lose names like Bacatti down at Towson and Ryan Tierney at Hofstra, it's tough sometimes to gel when you're losing some key pieces, but they have a lot of talent. Cutting towards the crease, shooting high, scoring. Brendan Nickturn. The team's leading scorer gives Pequa an early 1-0 advantage.
And just a case of a quick dodge and a fire from the side of the crease for Lay. Or for Nickturn, excuse me.
Nickturn was the second returning leading scorer from last year's group that really put up some big numbers. All-conference guy, 17 goals, 25 assists last year. This was his 27th of the season, the team high. So back to the X, where Goldberg has already won once against Petrakis. Petrakis was one of the better freshman guys a year ago, is kind of on their 1-2. Petrakis is going to win this face-off and go from left to right, the sophomore. Here's Garrett Gibbons, already a Maryland commit, who as a freshman started moving into that midfield rotation. and played some decent numbers. 19 points he finished with, and really didn't start getting some minutes until the second half of the season. Sam Lufty, another sophomore, 32 on the field, along with Kevin Linsky, a senior. So new midfield unit, the second unit is out. To the far wing, shot up high. Back up there on the Lufty attempt. Tim Lay, second-year starter, first year on the attack. Converted midfielder. Pump fakes along the near line, cuts towards the crease, shoots high, stopped by Solaro.
A good opportunity, Solaro even better, and here's again that tough ride that we expect, especially on this field.
Headman's Montfort, who's getting banged around in the midfield. Expect to see some hard hits between two rivals. Jake Montfort, the sophomore, downstairs, and Moyet ties the score. From a save all the way up the field, it's Montfort to Moyet. It's 1-1. So the goal comes a minute and 19 seconds after Massapequa had the lead. The X is going to be very important today. According to both of these coaches, of course, it's about winning those possessions even after you lose. It's a good battle along the wings. Reaching in is Stephen Mahan from Massapequa, wearing that pole and using that pole. There'll be a push. Syosset will have the ball. Chris Doherty. So the junior crosses the restraining line, and now Moyet will have his first unit out there in the midfield. Just waiting for Montfort to join the rotation. And Braves 10-1 on the season, coming off back-to-back Nassau County championships. Last year lost to Ward Melville in the LIC, and Ward Melville put on another good affair yesterday, as you could have seen on News 12 Varsity, but they're a one-loss team this season. Very well could end up being a championship rematch. One of these two teams, maybe with Ward Melville, Smithtown, a lot of good groups out there in Suffolk County.
And a great one yesterday. We had Ward Melville edging.
Montfort shot low. Venezia, the transfer from Chaminade, first year between the pipes, making the low stops. Already 3 saves for the junior, but a turnover in the middle of the field. David Moyet with the stick check, caused turnover, and a fresh possession for the guys in all white. Kalbacker hustles onto the field and will be joined by Matt Farrell, another senior, part of that midfield rotation where they really run 4 in the first midfield unit. Split dodge up high by Bennis. They go inside. Kalbacker behind the net. Met there by Griffin Harthorn. J.P. Lanning. Lanning behind the back, tried the attempt. It bounced right through the crease and scooped up by Massapequa.
Awesome defense by Hawthorne. Just, you got excited because you see the behind-the-back shot. That was his only option, really, there. Hawthorne took everything else away.
It's hard to decide who you want to have Lanning and who we want to end up taking Lanning because you have so much talent throughout there with Moyet also down low, the midfielders. But Harthorne and Pecco are 2 of the top guys, along with Brian Lenahan. For a close D that didn't lose a ton. Frank Allen, now over at NYIT, was one of their bigger losses on the defensive side.
Yeah, Frank, a great multi-sport guy. So many of these guys are as well. Plays football in the fall.
Ayena cranks a shot straight away. What a rocket to the back of the net. It's 2-1 Massapequa.
Yeah, Sally Boy just unloads on that one. From distance, Pequa takes the 2-1 lead.
So with 3:20 remaining, Massapequa takes their second lead of the game. Iana, the senior, committed to Binghamton, a 4-year varsity guy, and one of the last remaining pieces from that state championship run, Dylan. Don't forget, of course, Syosset ending the huge win streak in the Nassau County Championship game 2 years ago, back in 2015. There was a 34-game win streak that ended, and then last year they wanted to get back to the championship. Well, they got there. Syosset, though, has now won the last 3 meetings.
Yeah, the last game on this field, a kid named Ryan Tierney scores the overtime winner in an absolute classic. He was a junior. Mac O'Keefe was a junior. They would both be All-Americans by season's end. But that was the last Massapequa win here.
Iana draws a flag, skip pass to the far side. And Massapequa will head on the EMO for the first time today. So Iana, who has done so much for this group in years past, his defensive role, starting to really gel as one of these offensive guys. Already a goal today and just drew a penalty. This will be a 1-minute penalty, and that's the call. Believe it'll be a slash. Didn't have the referee come over, but 1-minute penalty, 6-on-5 lacrosse, a chance to extend the lead. Pass it behind the goal line. Lufty is out there as part of this man-up unit, 32. Cradles along the wing, straight away. They go downstairs, fake high, go low, Timmy Lay. A man-up goal. It's 3-1.
What a great look as well from Nickturn. The pass down low to Lay. Lay, the great shot fake and goal. 3-1. Pequa.
So just 50 seconds apart. Massapequa doubles their lead to 2. And 1-for-1 on the man up. Now back to the X for Goldberg. For Syosset, will take it with Petrakis. Petrakis last year, Dylan, one of those highly touted freshmen. Did decide on a school, though. He's going to go play at Lehigh. However, Goldberg tries to scoop up a very tough ground ball as it's deep right there. Big hit in the midfield as well. I'll give Syosset the possession. Between the lines today, I mean, you're going to see a physical game to begin with, but when it's tough to scoop up that ball because of the natural grass, I'm expecting to see some of our bigger hits today, and you got to always keep your head on a swivel.
Yeah, I expect the 7-Elevens in nearby Syosset and in Massapequa to run out of ice because these guys are going to need it tonight, that's for sure.
Only a couple of games left on the schedule for both.
How crazy is that, huh?
Hey, this season has really flown. Here's Montfort inside, switches to the right hand and buries it to the back right corner. Montfort with his 17th of the season. It's back to a 1-goal game.
What I like about that goal is that Montfort got the contact, right? So he absorbed the contact and kept going to the cage, and then that gave him the open opportunity, and he pulls the Braves within 1 with 1:32 left here, first quarter.
So less than a minute later, back to a 1-tally affair.
Of course, Massapequa still has a big contest to go, a non-leaguer, against Chaminade, which was originally scheduled for March when the weather was about 50 degrees colder than it is right now. Coaches wisely said, hey, you know what? How about early May? That'll be a good time to play this game. And Moran and Radomski both agreed, and we'll have that. Well, the game will be played on Wednesday.
I just could not believe when I was talking to John Calabria. He was saying Garden City was a nice day. That was our first game of the season on March 21st. And since then, it's been nothing but rain. We haven't seen a good day. Feels like Seattle out here on the island.
Yeah, that one, their loss against Cold Spring Harbor, that was at that Syosset Woodbury field right off of Jericho Turnpike. That game, I mean, there was fog. It was crazy.
Monfort rips a shot wide. Pretty good face dodge opening up some space. That's where this game was played last year. Yeah. You and Matt Shortis, I still don't know how you guys called that game. Give a lot of credit to Tom Schnars as well, one of our camera guys, for making sure he had the entire place covered as Lanning goes down low, 5-hole. We're all tied up at 2 with just 41 seconds remaining.
And another individual battle won. That time Lanig just swum around the cage and tucked it in. His first goal of the game, and we are tied at 3.
So just 49 seconds apart. Equalized the score. But Dylan, that game last year, I mean, the field was muddy. It was absolutely pouring out.
Ugh.
And somehow these two teams still battled the way they did. What a contest it was. 13-12. Syosset ended up winning. Mac O'Keefe with 6 points. Pico had 2 goals in the fourth to get it back within 1. But Syosset put on a show early. Loose ball, far side. Garrett Gibbons flipped out. I don't know how that ball got out of traffic over there, but it somehow found James Hall.
Gibbons' golf game is strong. Little chip.
Nick Turn tries to dump it up high. Lufty fights for the loose ball against 2 Syosset players. He'll come away with it, but that will end the first 12 minutes. An entertaining first quarter of action, no surprise. It's 3-3 as we head to the second. Massapequa, Syosset, only on News 12 Varsity.
You watch because it's your home, your school, your team, because it's your brother, sister, daughter, and son. Because you love the "can you believe it, did you see that?" and the "oh my goodness, what a win" moments. So yeah, you watch. Never miss a moment. Download the News 12 Varsity app today.
6 different goal scorers back in that first quarter. 3-3, Massapequa, Syosset. Dan Severino, Dylan Butler, thanks for joining us. Amanda Puglisi out here running the graphics today. John Strebski, that great camera work as always. Well, these two teams did lose some key pieces from a year ago. Of course, Ryan Tierney, we mentioned him, 75 points last year, an All-American. Went on to play for his dad at Hofstra. And he is part of that rotation, part of that attack. But how about Mac O'Keefe out of Syosset? 15 goals in the first 2 games of the season for Penn State. He has 42 already. And he's only fourth, I say, in all of NCAA lacrosse in goals.
And on the regular, you'd make the, you know better than I, you see a lot more college lacrosse than I do, but you'd make the argument that he's playing in the toughest, if not one of the toughest conferences as well.
Oh, no question.
So the competition is ridiculous.
Off the wing, step down, big stop. Came out quickly from Jack Pucci after a Goldberg victory. Yeah, no question about that, Dylan, because the Big Ten right now is absolutely stacked from top to bottom. Even Rutgers, which is a #1 team, is toward the bottom of that list right now. But Mac O'Keefe getting it done early, getting it done all year. The timeout will be called here by Massapequa. I was talking to John Calabria about that before the game. I said, did you expect him to have that kind of start? I know you obviously want to say yes, but did you? He said, no. I mean, we feel we prepare our guys well for the next level. He thinks him playing 6 weeks for the U19 team in box lacrosse in Canada was a big help to that. His dad was a professional player back in the day too, always shooting. But Mac O'Keefe had a very fine career for the Braves, winning a couple of championships in the process.
Yeah, won a Long Island championship as well a couple years back, and he's really a strong part of the legacy here for Syosset. So you got guys like Lanig and Moyet and others who are now trying to emulate what Mac O'Keefe did. And you could, on the flip side of that, say the same about the guys from Massapequa with what Ryan Tierney did in his career.
And don't forget about Casey Kimmel down in Towson now. Justin Linsky's at Holy Cross. I mean, the list goes on and on. I mean, there's a lot of good players that came out of these two programs. And Tim Radomski in his 9th year, guess what? The prior 8 years, he's been in the finals, winning 2 championships and a state title back in 2014.
Yeah, you mentioned it earlier about the favorites, and there's no doubt, and this is no disrespect to anyone else, certainly in Nassau Conference 1, these two are the heavy favorites to get back to Hofstra. But you've got some competition too. Farmingdale has played both of these teams so close. Ball nearly bounces out. Again, that's what you're not getting these true bounces on this grass. So when the ball hits I almost said carpet, but when it hits the grass, crazy things will happen in this one.
Garrett Gibbons, face dodge up high, drops it off Lufty. Here's Iana, low to high, and he rips it. He loves that crank shot, number 15. Real blue-collar kind of player.
Had a little more space, I think, than Syosset wanted. Conti was on him.
Lay, the pass has to bounce to Garrett Gibbons.
Belmonte with a stick check there.
Iana down the right alley. So he was matched up there with Max Verch, 5'10", 170. The long stick midfielder committed to Maryland.
Yeah, Mad Max.
Play LSM, he can play close D. Iana gets levels, but Lay still has the ball. In front, Iana! Check that, it's James Hall, who came out of nowhere, shot it behind the back. After Helter Skelter, Massapequa gets on the board.
Yeah, you saw guys laid out. Belmonte with a hit. But then Hall takes a pass from Nickturn. Nickturn gets his 2nd assist of the contest, and back and forth we go. Massapequa with a 4-3 lead.
At 1:43 of the 2nd frame. James Hall, we haven't said his name a ton. Came flying in right along the crease. Really nice shot and kind of takes after Ian Kirby, who is one of the attackmen for Adelphi. Well, that is where James Hall is going to be going, playing for the Adelphi Panthers. Panthers a Division II national contender, especially this season.
That's one of my favorite coaches.
Coach Purdy?
Oh, yeah.
Big fan?
Oh, yeah. Love the accent. He's got his son, talking about the father-son connection.
Yeah.
His son's playing for him as well.
Yeah, Gordon Purdy Jr., who actually is last year was a Rookie of the Year in the conference. This year is still up there in points as well. As Nickturn, over the three-point day, has some room up high, tries to dump it downstairs. Pass got deflected, but still went out of bounds.
Yeah, he was trying to find Linsky down low, but the pass unable to connect, so Syosset will attempt to clear, but it will not be easy.
A Hail Mary pass somehow finds Lanik as he comes to the ball.
I'll tell you, that was a lot more. He made it look a lot easier than that was, Lanik.
Bennis shoots up high.
It might have been a pass, and it was.
He was trying to find Pucci on the doorstep. Was that 6'4", 230-pound frame. Maybe looking for a quick tap in. So Pico with the lead. They have led the entire game and tied a couple of times, though. Coast to coast, Garrett Gibbons gets manhandled right in the middle of the slot. Somehow scooped up by Gibbons, but actually will be turned over as Danny Oakes, one of the captains.
You got Oakes and Verch back there. Those are a couple of really physical, tough defenders, and a timeout called by Syosset.
Well, this isn't the only championship rematch in Nassau County we will have this weekend. Tomorrow, the Woodstick Classic. Garden City and Manhasset Saturday night, 7 p.m. under the lights. Manhasset, the 128th version.
I was about to, you got it wrong.
It's not 128?
I was going to ask you, do you know what version this is?
It's a 129 now, considering
You're
last year,
to
even
keep
more?
Going. Yes, higher. What was that game? Higher, lower, higher.
Oh, Price is Right?
No, the other one, the card game, Card Sharks.
Not familiar with it.
Keep going.
What version is it?
131.
131. Well, good thing I know that now, because I would have got that wrong tomorrow night.
There you go. So every time they play.
Right, 'cause last couple of years,
so they've been
met
playing
in the championship.
twice, a year.
They've actually met twice every year for the last 4 years, by the way.
But the 131st Woodstick. But do you know the all-time series?
The all-time series, I did not break it down yet.
70-60.
I know it was close.
For Manhasset.
70-60 Manhasset. The last couple of years, we've actually been flip-flopping. But Garden City winning both of last year's battles.
The last 6 meetings are split 3-3.
Right. Should be a fun one tomorrow night under the lights. We got a good one here this Friday afternoon. 4-3 lead for Massapequa. Nick Turn has 3 points. But we have 7 different goal scorers. Dodging up high. Callbacker. Near goal line extended. Step down. Bounce shot. Stopped after Bennis with a pretty good release. Venezia has been pretty solid so far between those pipes, Dylan.
He has, and that was a tough shot too. Because again, as a goalie, you can't read the bounce off the grass, and he did a great job. They've tried to go low, tried to do the bounce shots, which is a smart tactic by the Braves, but he's come up with some good stops. And a failure. Or they call timeout? They did. Radomski calls his second timeout of the first half. When I greeted Tim on the field before, said namaste. He said namaste right back.
Teaching yoga.
Yes.
Over at Massapequa High School. Wouldn't expect it, considering if you ever met Tim Radomski, he's about 6'3", 6'4", big guy, strong build on him. He's intimidating. He is.
Stretch the legs and stuff, right?
Yeah. And he does his yoga.
Yeah.
He enjoys his yoga very much. I wonder how much he actually, how many of his boys are part of this entire program.
Well, listen, I mean, it's an important way to keep limber, and it cuts back on injuries. It's a lot of positive things. You're seeing it throughout really all the sports.
I know.
Soccer.
Yeah, I know.
Hockey.
They're going to be upset because not that many lacrosse guys are big baseball fans, but Jake Arrieta's big on that.
See?
Pitcher for the Chicago Cubs.
Maybe Radomski taught him.
Who knows? We'll find out after the game. Stay tuned. We'll talk about that on Stick Check this week. Make sure he calls in just to talk about it. 7:38 now remaining in this first half. Garrett Gibbons along the near side. Puts on the brakes. Match up there with Mario Fasano. First-year starter, pretty good football player as well, is 33. Lufty moves down the right side, pocket to pocket, behind the net. Nick Turn. Back to the alley is Iana. Finds Gibbons, switches back to the left hand. Couple of stick checks here. And Lufty one more time, the sophomore. Pretty young group out there on the field right now. In terms of 3 sophomores, or 2 sophomores, a junior. The rest are seniors, though.
And that speaks to their strength because, you know, these are 2 programs. They don't call up sophomores just because they need numbers or something. You know, they've got plenty of them. It's the quality of those players. You're not going to bring up a sophomore unless he's going to play.
Lufty hugging the post was Solaro. Still loose and picked up by Danny Oakes. The junior tries a spin pass Iana. Drops it off to the near wing. Bennis. Here's Matt Bennis, the senior. Works around the cage, rips it up high. Possession will stay with Syo. Halfway through this second frame. Both goalies have been pretty solid. Callbacker had the screen, elected not to take it. Short stick matchup towards his left. Bennis tries to find Moyet, who was cutting up high, and that will be an unforced turnover.
Yeah, we've seen a few of those on both sides, and you wonder if it's just the rivalry and guys extra amped up, or maybe not used to a little extra heat weather-wise.
Except for 2 weeks ago when almost every school was on spring break. That was the only time we actually had this kind of weather. As Logan Tucker, a freshman, number 42, will step on the field. First-year player, but a three-sport athlete.
Yeah, look at the size, too, for Tucker.
Play some volleyball, from what I heard. Maybe he'll join our beach volleyball team in the summer that Amanda Puglisi and I are on. Dylan, you gonna come down and watch?
I might.
Thursday nights.
Maybe
Here's Logan Tucker.
Got a live cast going.
Feeds behind the net. South of the cage, Timmy Lay, and now Nick Turn. Nick Turn loves to use the body. Tries to go left, elects not to, straight away. Kyle Corwin switches to the left hand. Hounded, moves it back over. Nick Turn. High pass to Corwin, receives. Step down. Big stop by Solaro, excuse me.
He just kicked that one away. Another battle for the ground ball and another win for Syosset as Oaks comes away.
Solaro with a huge stop on Logan Tucker. Lanning, the bouncer, misses wide. Lanning out there with Tom Middendorf. Middendorf number 10. Takes the screen. Lanning has some room inside. Dumps it behind the net.
That was almost a situation where JP was a little bit too unselfish.
Oh, good shot by Moyet. About 10 yards out.
So it looked like he got that step on Hawthorne and could have went to Cage. Instead he passed to X.
Lanning over the shoulder, tries to dump it in. A couple good shots here, just not hitting the cage.
That's one of the fun battles inside of a game that we're seeing, Hawthorne versus Lanning.
Moyet around the cage. Straight away, Matt Farrell. Number 4, the senior is committed to Bucknell. Callbacker dodges up high, has the long stick midfielder on him in Stephen Mahan. Pump fakes. Montfort down the right alley. Behind the net, moves out to the left wing. Callbacker couldn't get the shot off. It's loose in that crease. Venenzia will scoop it up.
Yeah, tried a little tomahawk type of shot, wasn't there.
Venenzia, one of those guys going to play a Lehigh. 3 guys actually got signed in the offseason in the last couple of months to Lehigh. Kevin Cassis coming over and taking away some pretty good blue-collar Massapequa talent, what he loves to see.
And Lehigh's got that great combination, too, that you like to see, which is so attractive to these kids. Great education, high-level lacrosse, and really not too far from home either.
Well, they had 1 goal here in the half, and it was James Hall behind the back.
Yeah, that's all the way back with 10:17 left, so, or 1:43 in.
Lefty down the right side. Solaro has looked good, though. A sophomore who, again, is just in his first year starting. He's a local guy, going to stay local. Stony Brook in a couple of years, already a verbal. Nick Turn matched up here with Stephen Conti, the long stick midfielder, stepped in the crease. One of those unforced turnovers, and Tim Radomski has his head down along the near sideline.
Yeah, Lefty tried to set the screen and instead resulted in a turnover, but again, that ride.
Nick Turn pops it loose.
Oh,
Oaks through midfield. Syosset will call the timeout.
Dan, how many ground balls is Oaks picking up so far? And that's a good timeout to take, too, with 57 seconds left in the quarter. 1-goal game, as expected. You know, I was making a point earlier that this is a great week, I think, because you've got – it's almost like you know, when you see the number 1 seed in the preseason versus the number 2 seed, like, match up during the football season, usually it's that, like, one weekend that you see it in all levels. It's kind of that week here for our games, because yesterday we had Ward Melville, Smithtown East. Certainly the 1-2, you would make the argument in Suffolk's big boy lacrosse, and Ward Melville coming away with a 1-goal win over Smithtown East. Second straight regular season, too, that they've done that. Now, unlike this matchup, where it's been played out a second time, they didn't meet in the championship a year ago because Connecticut, as you remember,
coming out of nowhere, that big comeback.
Yeah, over Smithtown East. That was an overtime semifinal game, but now it does look like it'll be Smithtown East and Ward Melville, but of course Smithtown West, we've seen them cause some problems, and we'll take a look at a Comac team as well coming up. Kevin Schneider, a big part of their success, and West Islip can never count out the Lions as well. So what's great about Suffolk A is that we will have all of that playoff action, and including the doubleheader, the semifinal doubleheader from Islip High School live on Optimum Channel 14.
Should be a fun day on the 25th of May. It's coming up quicker than you think. Here's Belmonte. Fanning on the shot was Pucci.
Yeah, Belmonte, a little bit of a scoop pass, and I'll tell you, Pucci was fortunate because when he leaned out to get that ball, he could have been leveled.
Pucci has fanned on a couple so far. The junior, and they want him to keep shooting. 13 goals on the year, and coming off a 2-goal outing against Farmingdale. Skip pass, cranking up high was Callbacker.
That ball, watch out at the snack stands.
I think it went to Jerusalem. Lanig working behind the net against Hawthorne. Doesn't have the step inside. Strong D from Hawthorne.
6 seconds.
Bounce shot, scooped up. 2 seconds, 1, and that is the end of the first half.
That almost resulted in a shot.
It seemed the Massapequa staff, as much as they're pumped up also getting that stop, they maybe could have moved it over a little bit more. I can't tell if they're just fired up because of the stop or fired up because there still was a chance there, believe it or not, with 3 seconds left.
They are just fired up.
So only 1 goal scored in the second quarter. It was James Hall, assisted by Brendan Nickturn. That gives us our lead right now at 4-3. Pequa has led the entire way. We'll be back in the second half. Number 16 Chiefs, number 7 Braves, only on News 12 Varsity.
It's the reason we keep watching, because of underdogs, crazy comebacks, and the last-minute heroics. Because we love it all, the face-offs, the hits, the big-time goals. Because winning never, ever gets old. So, we keep watching anywhere we can. Never miss a moment. Download the News 12 Varsity app today.
Welcome back to News 12 Varsity. 4-3 lead for Massapequa over Syosset. The Braves have tied the score twice. That was all the way back in the first frame. From left to right, Pequa goes. Petrakis at the X against Jared Goldberg of Syosset in the white uniforms, who go from right to left. Mike Venezia, the junior goalie, was pretty good back in that first half, Dylan. And to our right, Anthony Solaro, the sophomore, also pretty solid, as Moyet will scoop up a loose ball, fire a shot, miss wide.
Yeah, some sloppy play from the Chiefs off that win at the X, where Petrakis goes backwards, couldn't connect with Hawthorne, and then it just created a bad situation and resulted in Syosset taking control of the ball.
Hawthorne has been all over JP Lanning today.
That's been a fun matchup.
Hawthorne, one of the better defenders you're going to see around, as Montfort works up high and finds Moyet, who they try and open up some more space for. He comes up all the way to the midfield. He's not just a below the goal line guy. Switching to the left hand and ripping it wide is Matt Bennis. Bennis, a pretty good goal scorer. Had 40 points last year and the second leading returner. Was third on the team last year behind Mac O'Keefe.
And after he dodged the initial defender, great job by Mike Pecco, too, to realize that. He comes up challenging Lanning to make sure he doesn't have an open shot.
Pecco, the 3-year starter, number 36. Lenihan matches up here with Callbacker, who drives straight towards the net. Also stepped in the crease. Venezia to Hawthorne, who has some trouble controlling. They'll go back to the cage. Venezia transferred back from Chaminade. Massapequa guy, obviously. They've watched him play throughout the summer, and they have 4 guys who they feel could be in the cage, but he's one of their big ones. That's why he's starting already as a junior. Oakes hounding James Hall. Comes away with the lacrosse ball, and then some good battles along the near sideline as Fasano goes straight towards the cage, cuts towards the middle, and tries maybe a bounce pass to Moyet. Luckily, because of this grass and how thick it is, Moyet has time to scoop it up.
And then Oakes took a shot right after that as well. Still feeling the effects of that, up high too.
Danny Oakes, the junior. Top defenders really for both, and 2 of the top defenders are both supposed to stay on the island. Intended right now and verbally committed for Seth Tierney's Hofstra Pride.
Montfort with that shot, another save. And you're seeing the different philosophies here, where the pressure not coming on the ride, certainly not up the field, so the clear has been there for Massapequa, not the case on the other side of the field.
Both teams, D, definitely settling in, though. It's Lufty. Didn't reach the cage.
Yeah, he waited a little bit too long there, where Fasano late to get back into the game, so he had an open opportunity, a free lane to shoot, but he didn't get that stick back in time, and Fasano, a great recovery.
I think it also hit Bellamonte as he attempted that shot. Sal Iana, who ripped one before to the back cage, past to Garrett Gibbons.
Yeah, I know from experience last year with you and I, Dan, lacrosse balls hurt.
Which game was that? Was that the Connecticut game, or was the one right after?
That was the one after. That was Walt Whitman Ward Melville, where I got nailed in the back during our open.
From one of the Whitman guys.
I must have picked Ward Melville.
Gibbons dodges to the net. Shot doesn't reach the cage. Scooped up by Lay. Ball moving up high. Inside Iana, the bouncer. Hall tries to push it in.
He's in the crease.
Push with possession.
Wow, Hall was very much in the crease. Not called.
Intensity picking up more. Physicality is picking up. Goal number staying down, though.
Yeah, I was going to say the scoring isn't.
Iana to Lufty. Here comes Sam. Shoots on the run. Misses wide.
You know, I wonder if the Massapequa guys, you know, they've got that great turf field right across the street, but I wonder if they've been practicing on their football field for this game. We'll have to ask Radomski after.
Nickturn. His shot will keep it with Massapequa. Yeah, you're right, Dylan, because you don't often see a lot of grass fields anymore. There's only a few of them out there where you see at least on the regular. This is one of those places. A lot of schools moving over to turf because it's easier to maintain.
I like this, though. I mean, it's almost like they should be playing with wood sticks.
Speaking of wood sticks, is that our promotion for the Wood Stick Classic, 131st?
Oh, very good.
Tomorrow night, 7 o'clock. To the goal line. Hall, low to high. Almost fooled Solaro. Hall's got such a good shot. And this team has a lot of lefties on the field. Don't forget about that. Lufty's a lefty. Hall's a lefty. There's a few of them. Timmy Lay, he's a lefty. So they work back out to the left wing for Iana, and then dodging hard is Linsky. Kevin Linsky. Hall. Fans on the shot attempt. Fasano. Dispossessed. Bodies bang around in the midfield. Another hit. Tripping towards the cage. Solaro will pick it up, and Lufty also gets banged up over there right in front.
Yeah, Nickturn was down. He got hit from behind.
Here's the transition. Oaks. Couldn't get the shot off in time.
You can tell Oaks is one of those long poles with the short pole mentality when he's getting up the field. He wants to score.
He does have 2 goals this season. Came against Baldwin and Oceanside.
Behind the play, Nickturn down. Getting a bit of a rest and trying to shake off the effects of that hit.
On the run, Bennis. Below the goal line, Moyet. Lanig. He scored the last Syosset goal, and that came with just 41 ticks remaining back in the first quarter. Since then, we've only had 1 tally in the contest. Bennis looking inside for Farrell. Almost handcuffed him, recovered by Callbacker.
And that's, again, a product of this field. If this is turf, that ball rolls out, and it's another turnover for the Braves. Forcing things inside, though.
This midfield unit out on the field. Farrell, Callbacker, and Bennis. Farrell's the only one who doesn't have double-figure points. The rest, more than 20 on the 2017 campaign. To the far goal line. Moyet works up high. He's got a short stick matchup here with Linsky, who's still on the field. Callbacker. And Callbacker will just move behind the net. It's Kyle Corwin still out there as well. Number 16. Straight away, Bennis. Moyet. Face dodge, shoots, scores! David Moyet.
Now wait, no, side netting. We saw the net ripple, but it hit the outside of the net.
All the celebration had everybody confused here. Well, I am off my game.
No.
I can't see it was in.
Hey, listen, there's 300 fans below you who were all cheering as well.
Even the players were celebrating. So we stay at 4-3, and we'll laugh at myself later on when we listen back to this game. 4 minutes remaining here in the third quarter. No goals since just a $1:43 into the second.
I see the Braves haven't found the back of the net since there was 41 seconds left in the first quarter.
Hall moves inside. That got dislodged from the cross.
You know who it was again? Danny Oaks.
Oaks was a key cog in their success last game. And again, they're not used to seeing many lefties on the field. It is a different look. It started to bring up in the last possession for Pequa with all the guys they have out there.
Chris Doherty just throws it away.
Garrett Gibbons. As we wind down here in the third frame. Gibbons, one of those guys who just hates losing. He'll find Lay, the junior. The BU commit cuts towards the net. Nowhere to go again. Bellamonte with solid D on him.
He got him in the head, too.
Lufty dodges up high. Gibbons, time to shoot and scores. Garrett Gibbons, that one will count. It's 5-3.
Yeah, nice looking pass from Lufty. Finds the double G Express and finds the back of the net for Massapequa, who have now scored the last 2 goals, 1 in each of the last 2 quarters. And to keep that 2 theme, they now have a 2-goal lead.
Our first goal since very early in the second. Garrett Gibbons, 12th of the season, a 3-sport athlete. Well, as a freshman, earned his time to eventually start and play with that top unit.
Procedure against Syosset, so Pequa, another possession here. And with goals at a premium, this is a big possession potentially here. Pequa's largest lead, just 2 in this game. That's come at 3-1 and currently at 5-3.
The way this Pequa D has been playing lately, it'll be tough to find one hit the back twine. Tucker. Logan Tucker tries to put on the brakes. Back to his feet. Lay behind the cage. Pocket to pocket. Nick Turn. Nick Turn a little banged up before. Seems to be all right now as he gets hounded. Spins around a couple of times. Tries to find Lay for the quick stick. And it got stopped. That was an impressive feed to get it across. Good hit in the midfield. Keeps it alive. Linsky throwing the bump on. Lufty takes a tumble. But a timeout from Massapequa. Check that out, it was Nick Turn again who fell down, 22. Well, Brendan Nick Turn has been hit a few times today. Taking a nice beating, but he seems to be okay. 2-goal lead for Massapequa, as we mentioned, the largest today. Only 1 goal in the second and third quarter each after a 3-3 first frame of action.
Well, you can see on your screen both of these teams in our Tri-State Top 20 poll. And if you want to watch this week or any week's Top 20 poll, tune in Tuesday at 7. Jimmy, Mike Kinney, myself, we will break down the action in the Tri-State. And what a week this is for teams in the Tri-State. A quiet week a week ago. And we kind of felt good about ourselves, right? Like, hey, listen, we picked these 20 teams. They've all won. We're looking pretty good. This week, though, 17 of those 20 teams playing another team in the top 20. So the action is ridiculous. And this is one of those matchups. We had one yesterday with Ward Melville and Smithtown East. We will have one tomorrow as well in the Woodstick Classic. Darien in the state of Connecticut playing New Canaan. So number 1, I think they've got like a 40-game winning streak. That's on the line. Bridgewater Raritan, actually 39 right now. Bridgewater Raritan playing Bronxville. Yorktown hosting St. Anthony's.
List goes on and on and on. We'll see Darien come to the island next week. They'll play St. Anthony's.
Under the lights.
That should be a fun one from Cy Donnelly Field.
Keith Weiser not happy with us. He's not happy.
That's because every time we show up, they always lose.
That's why he's not happy.
I knew that would happen.
He said, we are 8-2, and you've been at both losses. I said, Coach, we're coming to the Darien game, buddy.
This is the fun time of year. Anytime I've been speaking to any coach the last couple of days, I've been asking, how's everything been? I said, well, last couple of days, busy, but isn't this fun?
Oh, it's great.
It's the end of the season. Playoff formats and the seedings are starting to take form, and there's so many different storylines each and every game.
I feel like you're excited, but at the same time, you get a little bit sad because it means the end of the season.
It's not even May yet.
I know.
But it's going to fly right by.
Next thing you know, we're at the LICs, which we'll have as well on Optimum Channel 14. And then what? Then we got to wait for football.
It's going to be a long summer.
I'm not good with no games. I get very antsy.
A lot of golf. Come play some golf with me. Golf and beach volleyball, apparently, are on the agenda. Under a minute to play here in the third frame. Two-goal lead.
Not at the same time, I hope.
Yeah, he could. Lefty to Hall. It got stopped. Solaro with a body save. Tried to spin around, didn't know where it was, and then slipping on the far side of the field is Oakes. Back in his own real estate, he'll lose the ball. Nick turn to Lay, looking for a 3-goal lead, but he will miss.
And one of the rare opportunities where there was an open shot in front, Lay just unable to get it in. 30 seconds left, under 30. So Syosset an opportunity to cut their deficit in half, and again, it's never going to be easy to cross that midfield restraining line.
Bennis does. With 7 seconds remaining. No clock on that far side to be aware. Popped loose. Bennis scoops it up. 1 second. Tries to find Moyet. That shot will not count. And another strong defensive stand from the Chiefs. They'll head to the fourth quarter with a 2-tally advantage. It's 5-3, 12 minutes to go in regulation. Only on News 12 Varsity.
It's the reason we keep watching. Because of underdogs, crazy comebacks, and the last-minute heroics. Because we love it all. The face-offs, the hits, the big-time goals. Because winning never, ever gets old. So, we keep watching anywhere we can. Never miss a moment. Download the News 12 Varsity app today.
Syosset from left to right. White uniforms, tops and bottoms. Massapequa, they have the lead by 2 from right to left. Just 1 goal in each of the last 2 quarters. It was Hall 4-3 early in the second frame. And then with 2:57 remaining here in the third, Garrett Gibbons netted his first goal of the game, 12th of the season, for a 2-tally advantage. Thanks for joining us this Friday afternoon. Nassau County Class A lacrosse, a rematch from the last 2 championship games. Syosset has won the last 3 overall meetings. Still loose, picked up. Here's Weingad.
What a ground ball.
Weingad, the long stick midfielder, another guy transferred back. Iana cuts to the middle, fires it low, and Solaro stonewalls him.
You know, they didn't work the ball around, and because it doesn't work out for Massapequa, maybe that ends up being a bad play, but I like the aggression. Just going to the cage, finding the lane did Sal Iana. It just didn't result in a goal. Braves ball now, and it's been so long. Again, you point back to that goal by J.P. Lanig with 41 seconds left in the first quarter. This is a team that's been putting up double digits in just about every single game.
They're the fewest that Massapequa has scored.
Again,
another stop.
Off the side netting.
The fewest Syosset has scored was 7 in those 2 wins. Meanwhile, it was 10 goals, or 9, I should say, against Smithtown East.
Montford with that last shot.
Iana weaves through a couple of white jerseys and will move to the near alley. Coach Calabriel talking to him before the game, and he said it to me, you know, sometimes you lose a top player, it kind of makes all the other guys want to elevate their game more, and they play more of a team kind of role because they say, hey, we missed that one guy. We missed Mac O'Keefe. We missed Ryan Tierney from Massapequa. Trying to start gelling and figuring out their own identity. Well, guess what? 8 goals, 8 different goal scorers.
Yeah.
Dodging up high, Linsky. Move it to the far wing. Gibbons fires and misses.
The only thing that's not good for all those goal scorers is for your post-game interview.
Oh, I hate that. It's so hard to decide sometimes.
Someone will emerge in these final 9 minutes and 50 seconds.
Well, Nick Turn has a 3-point game. A goal and 2 helpers. Linsky the senior. Firing up high, Nickturn. And he wanted that one back.
Yeah, low to high. He was right in his wheelhouse, right where he wanted that shot.
Nickturn, a multi-sport athlete. Last year all-conference. This pass looking for Linsky coming from Lufty. Goes back out to Massapequa Real Estate.
Over and back, so Syosset ball.
Here is Moyet. David Moyet poking at him. Mike Pecco, the senior captain and 3-year varsity starter. From way downtown. Bennis is the one who had that shot before that hit the side netting. I thought was in. That would have tied up the game. That's the closest we've had. I mean, a couple of shots that hit the side net. Venezia has been very strong between the pipes. So has the close D and the poles, as Lanning has been held to just one tally. Tries to find Moyet.
And again, we've seen this a few times now for Syosset. Now, it's not just the Braves not clicking offensively. You do have to give credit, I think, to those defenders you mentioned, especially this guy, Hawthorne, who are forcing Syosset into these turnovers.
So many of these guys from Syosset, multiple points in almost every game. Lanning has had at least 3 points in each game. He has just 1 today. Moyet, multiple goals the last 7, just 1. Lay works from the south of the cage. James Hall will facilitate from behind the net.
Yeah, Hall's got one, put him up 4-3. Early second quarter.
Hall just missing wide. Had a short stick matchup as Monfort is still on the field, number 8. He's trying to get off and get Fasano out there. Here's Linsky. He'll dodge against Monfort. Hits the far wing. Hall cuts around a couple of times. Met there by the pole of Bellamonte.
Yeah, Hall trying to say that he got hit high, but it was a shoulder pad, that's for sure.
Linsky downstairs. Hall taps it in. Largest lead today.
And a great pass inside, just perfectly lofted by Kevin Linsky. And as he was falling to the ground just outside of the crease, Hall nets his second, the first multi-goal scorer in this contest, and it's 6-3. Massapequa doubles their lead with 7:38 left in the fourth quarter.
Jimmy Hall, leading returning scorer on this group. Netted 26 last year along with 22 assists. And that's his 16th of the year. Petrakis at the X. And scooped up by Bennis. Bennis will go straight to the cage and rip it wide.
And of course, this is what many believe will be the first of 2 meetings this year. The second very well could be in the Nassau A final. Of course, both teams met there a year ago. As you see, Syosset winning that game 18-12. Mac O'Keefe in that game had, I believe, 8 goals. 7 or 8 goals.
7 goals.
Yeah, huge game in that one. And if they do meet up again in the Nassau A final, we'll have that for you as well. The Nassau A and the Nassau C this year.
Bennis has to drop it down low. Pucci. Jack scoops it up just shy of the sideline. Lanig restarts behind the net. Tries to work past Hawthorne and fires it wide left.
He's had that shot a few times, unable though to find the back of the net.
Griffin Hawthorne has been impressive today. As Pecco stick checks Moyet. Switches back to the right hand, the pump fake. Towards the net, stopped by Venezia.
I think he got some pipe there in the far post.
Kalbacker into the near alley.
And we're starting to see a little more urgency from Syosset offensively.
Montfort grips and rips up high.
A good job by Shane Gibbons getting a piece of that attempt.
As we approach halfway through the fourth frame, trailing by 3, largest deficit today. Bennis back with the right hand and rips it in. Matt Bennis, his first today, 17th of the season. It's a 2-goal contest.
Yeah, and a great individual effort by Matty Bennis where you saw him just slice through that Massapequa defense, goes sidearm, and a much needed goal for the Braves. Their first in almost 3 quarters. Again, you go back 41 seconds left, first quarter. Lanik scored.
Petrakis, clean win. Here he comes and bounces it over the cage. Matt Bennis, 4-year starter, playing on both sides of the field. Netted 26 last year. This is number 17 for him for the Loyola-bound senior. As Lay shoots, and Solaro making the stop. Has to come out of his net, though. Then gets hit by Nickturn.
Hey, he's free game out there.
We've seen Nickturn do that on the soccer field as well. Usually a forward out there because of the big body and loves to get physical. It's a sport where he's legally allowed to do that more.
You can see on the Massapequa bench, coaching staff putting their arms up like, hey, let's pump the brakes a little bit here.
Gibbons, Diana. Pump fakes, goes downstairs near goal line. Nickturn. Lay couldn't get the shot off. Gibbons will work at right point. Bennis again became the 9th different goal scorer today. Gibbons. That's in. Garrett Gibbons, his second of the contest. Extends the lead back to 3.
And Double G just sort of lulled him to sleep a little bit. You saw him start that play, just bringing the ball all the way back out top. And then a great run by Gibbons and an equally good finish. And that lead now up to 7-4. It's simple sometimes. You win your individual battles, a great dodge and a solid shot, and Gibbons with his second of the game.
And don't forget how that possession was kept, by the way. Solaro got hit hard by Nickturn, which ended up forcing a turnover. They get the ball back. That's how they work that around.
And again, it's that aggressiveness on Syosset's attempted clears, that ride.
Hall in the far alley. Feeds behind the cage as Tim Lay will survey the land.
And now with a 3-goal lead approaching 4 minutes, you would certainly expect the Chiefs to pull it out. And there's a flag, exactly what you don't need if you're Syosset, a high stick up into the face.
It's Kyle Corwin.
And as long as they keep this ball going, don't let it touch the grass, and they'll be good.
So Corwin, the senior,
they've got to get out and play him.
Draws a penalty upcoming. Now more time to tick off of this clock as we're approaching 3.5 minutes.
If you're Syosset, you've got to attack. You've got to pressure the ball. You're down 3. It's approaching 3 minutes. Stall warning on now.
Stall warning and a delayed penalty as Lay works behind the cage. Lay shoots high. And Syosset will head on their first EMO. Oh, check that, Massapequa will head on their first EMO, second EMO today.
Yeah, they scored on their first. goal was
That was a long time ago.
by Timmy Lay. So 1 minute slash. And if you thought Massapequa was patient with the ball a few seconds ago, watch this next minute.
All that practice, and you go out with your friends throughout the summer and the off season, just passing the ball around. This is where it becomes key.
Stall warning on.
Scooped up by Stephen Conti.
And immediately the Braves call timeout. 2:54 to go. And remember too, their down numbers, and even when they're even numbers, the clear has been difficult. So you take one man off the field there. So it's a good timeout there for Syosset, allowing them to talk things over. And tell you though, they're going to need to start pressuring the ball and getting to the cage offensively.
Dylan, not sure if you heard the yelling on the sideline, a chant coming from the Syosset side. They're chanting, "Seal, seal, seal." That is the man-down defense, what they are nicknamed.
But they were fans of that old hockey team, the California
Seals. The Golden Seals?
Yes.
Well, it's the SEAL team after a friend of Coach Calabria had died in a surfing accident back in '98. And he shared that story with these guys back in 2001. And that team gave the nickname for all of the man-down teams. It's always been known as the SEAL team. So they're out there and need a stop at this point. With under 3 minutes to play, that's a very important five-man unit right now. 6 if you count Solario between the pipes. We've only scored 1 goal in the last 3 quarters of play. Remember, it was back-to-back tallies. Montfort and Lanning that tied it up at 3 late in the first. Hall 4-3 early on in the second. No goals until under 3 minutes to play in the third when Gibbons netted his first. And then 2 more Massapequa tallies here in the fourth for a 3-goal advantage. Syosset will have the ball back in their own end. Montfort. They play man down. Tries to swim through 2. Still loose on that grass. And it'll be a push. So Pequa will have control.
33 seconds still left, the man advantage. And there's that chant you mentioned before. You could hear it from the sideline. And now you're seeing Syosset flashing out to every player who gets the ball.
10 seconds to go, and the man up for Pequa. Linsky near goal line. Nick Turn works up high. Lufty in that far alley. So we're back all even.
And you expect another stall warning. There it is. Under 2 minutes to play.
Lay tries to cut through a couple, loses it, scoops it back into the cross. Lay being hounded now by a couple of poles back there. Last one to go after him was Max Verch.
I was going to say, you wonder when Solaro comes out of his cage, and he does now.
So net pretty much empty. Skips back out to the midfield. Gibbons back into his mesh.
Yeah, that took the officials a little while to figure out that the ball was out of the box.
So no time added on here. Minute 20 to go, down by 3.
You have to go to the cage if you're the Braves now.
Moyet.
I mean, they're waiting to get their personnel on, but you've got to go.
Bennis scored the last goal for Syosset. Gets hit, jarred loose. Shane Gibbons will move it back to Lanahan. Under a minute to play. Again, Massapequa has not defeated Syosset since the regular season back in 2015.
Yeah, since the last time they played here.
It was a 7-6 overtime win. And that's more icing on the cake as Kyle Corwin buries his 10th of the season. And the Chiefs can start the celebration.
Yeah, credit Nick Turn with the assist. An open netter for Corwin. And that should seal this one for the Chiefs. Big win on the road for Massapequa. You wonder, does Radomski look to have all his games here? They've had success on this grass surface.
Petrakis, clean win. Drives straight to the cage, and Solaro makes a stop with a half minute to play.
Yeah, with a 4-goal lead under 30 seconds left, you don't mind that from Petrakis, I think. 1-goal lead, Radomski might be losing his mind right now.
So a 7-game win streak is about to come to a close for Syosset. And meanwhile, for Massapequa, still some tough games on the schedule. Chaminade, they'll play them next week. Also see Port Washington, Plainview, Freeport. Before getting to the big dance. 8-4 the final. For the first time since the regular season, back in 2015, the Massapequa Chiefs defeat Syosset. And all those memories from some of the returning players of falling to them in the county championship is they get a little bit of revenge. They know they have bigger goals in May. 4-goal win for the Chiefs. We'll be back with more to talk with one of the victorious Massapequa players right here on News 12 Varsity.
You watch because it's your home, your school, your team, because it's your brother, sister, daughter, and son. Because you love the "can you believe it, did you see that?" and the "oh my goodness, what a win" moments. So yeah, you watch. Never miss a moment. Download the News 12 Varsity app today.
Welcome back to News 12 Varsity. It's an 8-4 final score. Big reason, the defense of Massapequa. He's just a first-year guy in Brian Lenihan, but, I mean, overall, you know a lot of these guys, and you've seen a lot of these guys over the course of the season. Such a tight game going forward and playing on this grass. How tough was it, obviously, out there?
It was a great game. They have some great players in JP Lanning. I play with him on the Long Island Express. He's a great player. We knew he was going to come out here to play, so we knew we had to play some good team defense.
I mean, overall, you held them down to no goals through 2 quarters plus. I mean, that obviously was the big turning point in this game, but how tough was it, obviously, when you know the offensive firepower they have over there?
We knew it was tough, so we knew we had to work our ass off, but we have to thank Mike. He played amazing in net and kept our heads in it.
When you look at a first-year goalie like that, another guy comes over from Chaminade with you, first-year guy playing for Massapequa. I mean, you've obviously seen it throughout the last couple of years, what these meetings have meant for them. What did it mean looking at some of your teammates to get a victory like that?
Especially the past 2 years, some of the guys have been on varsity, lost in counties twice to them, so it was great getting the W for them.
I mean, overall for this team right now, things are starting to gel together, a lot of new faces out there. What has been working so well for the last couple of weeks?
Especially the communication on defense, and then the offense, the ball movement. No one's playing selfish. Everyone's making sure the other person gets the credit, and they don't care.
Well, next couple of games, obviously, before we get into the playoffs, what still needs to be worked on?
Of course, everything. Stick skills. We had some bad passes, defense, communication, sliding, but otherwise, I think we got a good shot this year.
Well, Massapequa holds Syosset to just 4 goals, a season low for them, one of the top offensive teams around. But a big win for Massapequa, first time they beat them in nearly 2 years. That's going to do it for us here at News 12 Varsity. Many thanks to our entire crew, as always, for Amanda Piglisi, Josh Rebsky, and my broadcast partner, Dylan Butler, Dan Savarino, saying thanks so much for watching, and we'll catch you next time.
It's the reason we keep watching, because of underdogs, crazy comebacks, and the last-minute heroics. Because we love it all, the face-offs, the hits, the big-time goals. Because winning never, ever gets old. So, we keep watching anywhere we can. Never miss a moment. Download the News 12 Varsity app today.